Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you saw from the title, we're going to be talking about crochet hair products. But unlike some other products videos I have where I talk about scarves, bonnets, scissors, like things you need for crochet hair, I'm going to be talking about products that I use on the hair specifically. I realized there might be a need for me to make this video just because I recently made my fabric softener video. If you haven't checked it out, please, I'll link it up above. That video, I was talking about how a lot of people are looking for ways to, revitalize their hair, and fabric softener has been a point of conversation for many years, but I do feel like there are hair products on the market that do a similar thing, and they are actually made for hair. So I wanted to talk about that today. I have many a video where I show Mousse, I show Hawaiian Silky, I talked about fabric softener, I talk about things. So each product isn't one size fits all. Some products work specifically for some hair better, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. Maybe you couldn't even tell because it looks so darn good on camera, but the hair that I have in right now is the Rastafri Braid curl hair. Today it's week 5 with this hair. When I tell you I've barely done anything with this hair, and quite honestly, in this last week, from week 4 to now week 5, I've done nothing. I'm talking, it's been a good week in terms of having a lot of meetings. I've had a lot of WebEx meetings, but the great thing about WebEx is you can't really tell. Those pixels aren't really sending the real message. So I'm coming on here raw. No detangling, no product. You already know this is going to hit that no maintenance category. You should already know if you're familiar with my channel, but I'm coming on here and as my edge is down, the bonnet is right here. I got up this morning, I washed my face, I put makeup on my face, and then took my bonnet off and then turned the camera literally on. So what you're seeing is what you're getting. So what product would I use for hair like this? You might be like, well, is this a time to pull out water? Is this a time to pull out mousse? What would you use? So in my arsenal beside me, I have my wonderful product that I talk about quite often. It is the Hawaiian Silky Miracle Worker 14 in 1. That's the full name of this product. Hawaiian Silky, the parent company. Miracle Worker, I think, is the sub brand because I believe they have Miracle Worker shampoo, Miracle Worker conditioner, and now they have the 14 in 1. So 14 in 1 is the name of this. It has 14 uses. I'm gonna just use that on my hair today. Honestly, this is all I've used on this hair. All I've used, and I used it probably like 3, this is probably making the 4th time I've used this on this hair. So I'm just gonna spray it in and show you kind of how I would go about detangling this hair at week 5, even though I'm really about to take this hair out right at this point. But it's not because I don't love it, it's just because it's time for a switch up. So you can either spray it on your hand or spray it on the hair directly itself if you want to. And I just use that to detangle the hair. That's all I'm doing, is using that to detangle the hair. So taking that strands. Why don't I just detangle it with nothing? Crochet hair can be very rough sometimes, and you just don't want to detangle with nothing. So I always do say utilize some kind of product in your detangling, and I think the 14 in 1 is a great product to use for multiple types of hair.
Said I'm in love with you, and I'ma give you anything you want, and I'ma give you anything you need. Bad man here, wine I'm to the beat. Damilohun, tell me what you want to know. Me I no go lose control. Bad man I feel your flow. Wine I'm slow. This one no be private show. Damilohun, tell me what you want to know. I go give you all and more. Bad man I feel your flow. Wine I'm slow. This one no be private show. Your friends they tell you say.
So after you're done detangling and having gone through the hair, you're always going to have an element of you have pulled some of your hair. That's understandable. So I just kind of clip. That's probably how my hair has gotten progressively shorter over these last few weeks. If you notice, is because of just the blobs that happen, and then me having to continue to cut it up for kind of evenness throughout. So of course, every time I detangle, I'm always, for the most part, going to need scissors because detangling pulls out an element of just, frizzy hair. I know to you guys on camera it was like it looked good probably before, but it just looks good and honestly feels much better. It's less dull than it was in person if you were to see it, and then it just feels so, like, I don't know, revitalized. I'd say it wasn't super, like, I would say dry. I hate using the word dry because I get flack from people who do not like the fact that I use the word dry to describe crochet hair, but it was dry. I'm just gonna say it feels dry, like dry normal hair would feel. That's how it felt prior. Now it feels like moisturized, and I like that. So all I would do now is, now that it's, you know, revitalized, I just go in and lay my edges down. If you watch my install of this, I didn't have all of this coming out, but as the weeks go on, some of my hair just kind of naturally wants to be free, wants to live its best life. So my baby hairs or front of my edges sometimes just say, hey, look, we're here. Do what you will with us, but we are out and we're about. So I just typically go in with my edge control. I like Hicks edges. Might not be the absolute best in the world, but I actually like it. And so I'm going to just...
It's a bad man thing, yeah, yeah. Bad girl make it.
So this is how it looks, but the purpose of this video wasn't to show you, because I've shown you how I kind of detangle hair and use products and all of that. It was going to talk about my rationale for using the specific product I use for this hair and why I choose Mousse sometimes over Hawaiian Silky and vice versa. So when I pull out Hawaiian Silky and what I'm using it for, is typically I'm detangling a hair that has lost some of its luster and could use a hint of that. So it's one, using it as a detangler, to kind of moisturizing, and that moisture is then adding that kind of luster back to the hair that the hair has lost. Crochet hair, if you've worn it, you know it can tend to look a little dull, and there's that fine line between being dull and then being plasticky, shiny hair. That in between that is what normal hair looks like. It looks, you know, healthy, looks natural. That's what this does. So when I'm pulling out this product, it's typically for those reasons. I'm trying to detangle and then add back that luster. Now, then you're like, well, sometimes you use mousse. I just have a lot of body because I couldn't find my Shine and Jam mousse that I typically use, which if you saw my install video of this hair, you saw I used the Shine and Jam mousse right after I installed the hair. Now, I use mousse typically right after I install for whatever hair it is, because it typically does a good job at bringing everything back together. So right after you install, whether you split the hair, don't split the hair kind of has a level of fresh after install frizz, I'd say. Like the fresh, it came from the pack, now it's in your hair. This kind of like makes it all tight, consistent. It brings it all together. And early on in my channel, if you even watch, one of my most popular videos is me revitalizing my free tress presto curl, and I'm using this mousse. I think I used specifically a lot of body, and you might be like, well, you wasn't even talking about no Hawaiian Silky. You have to realize that video is from 2017, or it might be from 2016, 2017. I believe 2017 though, possibly. I didn't know nothing about no Hawaiian Silky. I discovered that in 2018. If hindsight going back, would I have used Hawaiian Silky instead of the mousse? I don't know. Again, mousse is used for a different reasoning. I can't remember what the problem I was having or what was going on with Free Tress Presto Curl, but if it's a hair that already is kind of got that shine, there are some crochet hair like the Free Tress Bohemian Curl, the Free Tress Presto Curl, that don't need any help with luster, quite honestly. They already lusterizing. They're a little too lustery at some points. A lot of people's complaints is that they can look a little plasticky. I've even heard that with the Rastafri Dream Romance Curl that I like a lot. Some people have aversions to it because they feel like it's too plasticky. When you got a hair that's too plasticky, all adding this is going to do is just amplify the plasticness of it. You don't need that. You need something like this, where this product won't necessarily add the shine that you're looking for. It does not in any way add the shine that this adds. This is going to be a great detangling agent if you just need something to detangle. If you just need something to detangle, you can use this, or you can just use water. So I use this typically when the hair has a very plastic look, which again, a lot of times crochet hair has right out of the pack, which again contributes to why I use this right after install, but sometimes it doesn't pop back in. Again, I use mousse right after install this hair. Mousse hasn't touched this hair again since, because it hasn't been the product that this hair particularly needed. Now, I've talked in the past about using Braid sheen spray, which now I hardly ever use. I barely ever use a braid sheen spray. This is the African Pride one, which is full to the brim. I bought it and it's full to the brim because I rarely use it now that I have Hawaiian Silky. Braid sheen spray is, again, adding that luster. It says on the canister, it helps relieve dryness, soothes tight or sore braids, and softens and conditions hair. That's one of the 14-in-1 uses of this. So sometimes I would go in, and this was before I discovered Hawaiian Silky. Sometimes I would go in with hair with this product, with Mousse. And then, because Mousse doesn't help with, you know, making the hair more luster, it doesn't relieve any dryness at all, I would go in with this. So it was a two-step process. I would Mousse, then go in with this, which these two together are doing what I'm doing with this. So had I never discovered that, today's video would have been probably me using Mousse on this hair to detangle, and then going in and spraying my hair with this to give it that real hair luster back again. So these two, in my opinion, for specific hairs, do exactly what I'm trying to do with this product, if that makes sense. So that's why I reach for this way more nowadays than I do the Mousse braid sheen combination. It's very rare. Maybe if it's a quick, I'm out the door and I don't have time to detangle, but I do need to just look like not dull, like I don't have that time between being able to detangle, but I also need to look like something, then I would do a little, you know, just a little, give me some shine. But other than that, rarely do I use that. And then recently I made the video where I talked about fabric softener, and a lot of people love fabric softener, and a lot of people say, yeah, this is the product. Somebody even commented that they like fabric softener more than they do Mousse, and I was like, as you should, because I don't think they're supposed to do the same thing. Again, this is not going to add any luster. Both of these can be used for detangling, but what you're doing or what you're trying to do with both is different. So that's why I compared in my fabric softener video this to this. I think these two are doing the same thing. Now, whereas with fabric softener, you're having to dilute it and then you're having to spray it in your hair. I got a lot of comments from people who were like, I'd be careful with fabric softener too, because they pointed out a great thing that I hadn't touched on in that video, was the fact that this is intended for clothes. So they made this for clothes. So if it gets on your crochet hair, cool, because it's a fabric, it's a material, it is what it is. But if it gets on your actual scalp and your actual braid, so if you're spraying this, again, you're supposed to put this in a spray bottle with 50% of this, 50% water. You spray this on your head, that spray don't have no gift of discernment of knowing exactly where it's gonna go. It's gonna go all over, meaning it's gonna also probably attach to your actual hair up under here. You know how the scalp, it's gonna hit your scalp too. So you got fabric softener on your scalp when it's not really made for scalp. The warning labels is very clear that this is supposed to go on clothes. You're supposed to go on clothes. So if you have an adverse allergic reaction to this, then don't sue Gain, because Gain never told you to put this on your hair. This isn't designed for no hair. You did that on your own. That's like the kids who ate Tide Pods. We didn't tell you to do that. Y'all did that on your own. Don't sue us. We were clear. This is for softening your fabrics. We ain't say spray this on your scalp. So that's why, no, it's going to be a better product for your actual hair, truly, than Mousse is, because they're not doing the same thing. But I think these two do the same thing. And one of them can get on your actual hair because it is made for synthetic and human scalp hair. So that's why I will probably never use fabric softener on my channel, but I don't negate anybody to use that if they truly feel like it works for your hair. If you feel like fabric softener is your go-to product, I say go for it. Just please be aware of not getting it on your actual hair as much as you can. There's braids up under here. I have braids, even if you can see my scalp right here, but you have braids up under this. So be as careful as you can with the spraying of the fabric softener if you are going to use it. But I say just maybe purchase this, see how you feel about this. If this ain't it, then go back to your fabric softener. But I'm telling you, I think they do the same thing. I kind of think they do the same thing, and again, one is made specifically for your hair. What you're trying to achieve with the fabric softener, you're getting with the Hawaiian Silky already. So that is my thoughts on products. I think in your arsenal, it definitely helps to have Hawaiian Silky. It definitely helps to have any kind of mousse. Don't have to have a specific mousse. I just go in a store and randomly, at my own discretion, pick out an alcohol-free mousse, and that's my mousse of choice. Same thing goes with Braid Sheen Spray. They have the same properties. Any Braid Sheen Spray, been Braid Sheen spraying. We done had Braid Sheen Spray for probably 30 plus years at this point. They ain't came out with nothing new that's gonna make this Braid Sheen Spray better than that Braid Sheen Spray. So I think you need to have these 3 products at least in your arsenal of products. But you guys, I'm all ears down below. If there's another product I should be trying, again, I love my Hawaiian Silky, but I'm open and I'm ears to something else that might do something different, that might change my mind. But please feel free to voice those thoughts down below. Make sure that you like this video, give it a big thumbs up because we want the love and support over here. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss anything I do, and turn that notification bell on. So again, you can be alerted as soon as I post a new video. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram at Lia Lavon 89 so you can keep up with my shenanigans in real time, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
The girl, she a fine like the sunrise. The way she move make a man cry. I'm feeling her, feeling her.